Samsung has been teasing the tech world with the idea of a tri-fold phone for a while now, but even though the device is apparently ready for production, the company is still hesitating to launch it. Why? Because they're not sure people actually want it. That's right. According to Samsung's mobile chief TM Roh, the tri-fold phone exists, and it could potentially release by the end of this year, but the final decision depends entirely on consumer demand. At the Galaxy S25 Unpacked event earlier this year, Samsung dropped a not-so-subtle hint that a multi-fold device was in the works, which got people expecting an unveiling alongside the Galaxy Z Fold 7 and Flip 7, but that didn't happen. Now, we know why. TM Roh explained that Samsung is still evaluating how users might actually use a tri-fold device and whether it solves a real problem. In an interview with the Korea Times, he mentioned that the name of the device, possibly Galaxy G Fold, hasn't even been finalized yet. Another Samsung executive echoed the same sentiment in a chat with Android Authority, saying that while the tri-fold has been under development for a long time and is production ready, Samsung is still waiting to see if there's genuine market demand before pulling the trigger. Leaks suggest the phone would be a powerhouse, combining 3 displays into one massive 10-inch OLED screen and powered by the Snapdragon 8 Elite chipset. It's also rumored to feature the same high-end camera setup as the Galaxy Z Fold 7, including the impressive 200-megapixel main camera. So it's not just a fancy concept. This thing is real, it's powerful, and it's almost here. But the price? Reportedly over 4 million Korean won, which is around $2,900 US. That puts it way beyond what most people would consider paying for a smartphone, especially when foldables themselves still make up just a small fraction of overall phone sales, largely due to their already high prices. Samsung knows this, and it's one of the big reasons why they're hesitant. They're worried that the tri-fold could flop, not because it isn't innovative, but because people just might not be ready to spend that kind of money on a phone, no matter how many times it folds. On top of that, a tri-fold design is more complicated than a standard foldable. It requires more moving parts, more fragile components, and more precise manufacturing. Even with their experience, Samsung knows that production yields, meaning how many of the phones come off the line without defects, could be a real problem. That's why the company is reportedly considering a limited release later this year, possibly just in Korea and China, to test the waters before going global. If the phone does come out this year, it'll probably be toward the end. What if I told you that Samsung just dropped its most affordable foldable phone ever and it's actually worth getting excited about? Yep, say hello to the Galaxy Z Flip 7 Fe. This one's kind of a big deal because not only is it Samsung's first fan edition foldable, but it also brings a premium foldable vibe down to a more reasonable price point, $899 to be exact. Let's be real, foldables have mostly been luxury toys for people with money to spare, but this phone changes the game. The Z Flip 7 FE is basically a slightly tweaked version of last year's Galaxy Z Flip 6, but with a few changes to help cut costs without making you feel like you're compromising too much. Instead of the Snapdragon 8 Gen 3, Samsung has used its own Exynos 2400 chip, the same one from the Galaxy S24 series. Is it slower? A bit, but for everyday stuff like browsing, TikTok, Instagram, or even casual gaming, you're not going to notice much difference. What's even better is that you still get the same great 3.4-inch cover screen and 6.7-inch foldable inner display. The outer screen has a 60 Hz refresh rate and can go up to 1600 nits brightness, while the inner display boasts full HD plus resolution, a smooth 1 to 120 Hz adaptive refresh rate, and up to 2600 nits of peak brightness. Basically, it looks great no matter how you use it. And yes, it's still got that satisfying flip design. When it comes to cameras, you're getting a very solid setup for this price. There's a 50-megapixel main rear camera with optical image stabilization, a 12-megapixel ultra-wide, and a 10-megapixel selfie cam. All three support 4K video at 60 frames per second, and thanks to Samsung's Super HDR and HDR10 Plus support, your videos and photos will look colorful and sharp, even in tricky lighting. Now, here's something that's actually impressive. This $899 phone ships with Android 16 and One UI 8, and Samsung has committed to 7 years of major Android updates and security patches. That kind of long-term support is usually reserved for premium flagships, but Samsung is giving it to you here. On top of that, you're getting all the Galaxy AI tools too. Things like Call Assist, Transcript Assist, Generative Wallpaper, and even Drawing Assist are baked in. That means even though it's cheaper, the Flip 7 FE isn't being left out of the modern AI push. Under the hood, you get a 4000 mAh battery that supports to 5W fast charging and 15W wireless charging. Could a thinner phone really change the way your daily phone feels in your hand? That's exactly the direction Samsung seems to be taking with its upcoming Galaxy S25 Fan Edition. A new report just confirmed what earlier leaks hinted at. Samsung is planning to make the S25 Fan Edition noticeably slimmer, and the key lies in the display tech. Instead of the regular organic light-emitting diode panel used in previous models, Samsung is likely switching to a flexible organic light-emitting diode display for this device. Now, to be clear, this isn't the kind of flexible screen used in Samsung's foldables like the Galaxy Z Fold series. Instead, it means the screen is built on a thinner substrate, like plastic or ultra-thin foil, instead of rigid glass. This allows the phone to be slimmer without sacrificing display quality. The result, a possible reduction in thickness, from 8.0mm on the Galaxy S20 for Fan Edition to just 7.4mm on the S25 Fan Edition. While half a millimeter may not sound huge, anyone who's used thinner phones knows that the change is often felt more than seen. A slimmer phone often means a lighter feel in the hand, easier grip, and an overall sleeker profile, something users really notice over time. On top of that, Samsung is reportedly reducing the bezels on the 6.7-inch display, giving users more screen and less frame. That upgrade will make videos, games, and apps feel more immersive, while also making the phone look even more premium. But going thinner often raises one big concern: battery life. Thankfully, leaks suggest that Samsung might actually retain a large 4700 mAh battery, the same size as what's found in many flagship phones. And that's not all. Charging speed is also expected to be solid, with support for 45W fast charging. Under the hood, the Galaxy S25 Fan Edition is rumored to be powered by the Exynos 2400 chipset, the same chip found in the Galaxy S24 series, and could ship with Android 16 and Samsung's One UI 8 software experience. That means you're getting the latest version of Android out of the box with Samsung's familiar software on top. If all this is true, the S25 Fan Edition could be one of the best value phones of the year. It keeps the big battery, gets thinner, and upgrades the display, all while remaining more affordable than full flagship models. That's what the Fan Edition line is all about, giving people flagship-like experiences at a lower price.